What is up, everyone? My name is Joseph, and welcome to the first episode of From Hacked to Stacked. Now, I know you're thinking, what is From Hacked to Stacked? Well, it's
a bad name for a series.
Can you just let me talk and finish explaining my series?
Could you come up with a better name for a series?
You and I both know that in the current old school RuneScape YouTube culture, if your series doesn't have an alliterated title or rhyming title or one that's relatively clever, nobody's going to watch it.
I mean, no one watches you anyway, so I don't see what the difference is.
Honestly, just fuck off. You're adopted and mom didn't love you. Anyway, From Hacked to Stacked is a new series I'm starting, and this is the very first episode of an Ironman from scratch series based around the recent hackings my accounts incurred. If you want a full summary of that situation, link in the top right of the video will take you to that video. But as a real quick TLDR, a hacker got into both my accounts and was threatening to drop stuff on my Ironman if I didn't give him my main's bank pin. So once I got the accounts back, I figured I might as well just finish the job, drop the rest of my Ironman's bank, and do a from scratch series. I know, from scratch series, how original. It's never been done in the history of RuneScape YouTube. So let's just start. Just roll the title clip. So the way this series is going to work is I will be streaming 90% of the progress over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Wylar. And I'll be making these summary videos that kind of just take each stream day and give a summary of what happened. So as all numbers and lists should do, let's start at number 1, day number 1, and let's kind of go over what I was able to get done in that day. So I'm going to start off day 1 by showing you what I had in my bank to start this account. I did save a few things from the dropping, and mainly it was just 2 scaling outfits, Graceful and the full Prospector outfit. And the reason I saved those is just because I'm never going to do these activities ever again, and I figured I want to save future Joseph from having to endure the stuff that past Joseph had to do, and I just couldn't bring myself to want to ever do agility or motherlode mining anytime in the near future. So I decided to keep those 2 scaling outfits, but pretty much the rest of the things I just dropped or transferred over to my main. So the first thing that I wanted to really get done on this account is just get some starting cash because I literally had no GP. And I didn't mention it, but the goals for this account are really PVM focused. And as this series goes on, you'll see that a lot of my specific short-term goals are trying to get specific gear setups and tier setups that I have listed, and we'll kind of just work through that. So the first thing I really needed to do was make some money so I could afford the Dragon Scimitar, because I felt like that was a very essential piece to get, and probably the most important piece of starting gear that I could really get within a short amount of time. But to do that, I needed money. I needed 100K to buy it from the vendor on Ape Atoll. So the first big thing that I had to get done was just make some money so I could afford a few different starting things before I start making that 100K. So I made my way over to Ardoin, thieved a few cakes from the cake stalls just to get a little bit of food, and then pickpocketed the knights in Artie Square just to get a few hundred coins to start with. Once I got a few hundred coins, I made my way to Al Kharid to take the carpets to the agility pyramid, and that's where we spent about an hour getting the pyramid tops to trade in. Now these trade in for 10K each, so we were able to trade them in for just over, I believe, 150K by the time all things were said and done. And this gave us enough money to be able to afford the Dragon Scimitar and a little bit of food from the Warriors Guild. But what I didn't realize until I had this money is that getting a Dragon Scimitar from scratch is basically doing the Monkey Madness quest all over again. So before I went and did all of that, I decided to stall a little bit, and I picked myself up some climbing boots. Now this is really the first piece of gear or useful gear that I've obtained on this account. It is a gray tier is what I'm classifying it as, so nothing good, nothing fantastic, but it did feel kind of nice to get one piece of gear banked at least. But after we got the climbing boots, we did have to move on and start getting that Dragon Scimitar. And so the first thing we had to focus on was getting the Monkey Speak amulet. Now, it has been a long time since I've done Monkey Madness 1, so I am rusty on a lot of the steps in order to get the Monkey Speak amulet, but we were able to slowly make our way through the steps of this quest, obtain the Monkey Speak amulet, get the Monkey Talisman, get the Corruption Monkey Grigri, and then we could finally safely walk on Ape Atoll and purchase the Dragon Scimitar. And we had the money for it, so once we got the Grigri, all we had to do was go and buy it from the scimitar shop on Ape Atoll, and that Dragon Scimitar was ours, and we had obtained our first actual piece of gear. The weapon's obviously one of the most important pieces of any gear setup, You can do a lot of stuff without armor, but you can't do a lot of stuff without weapons. So getting that weapon felt pretty good. However, since I did have to do more work to get that Dragon Scimitar than I had originally planned on or originally had thought I would have to do, getting the Dragon Scimitar pretty much took all of day one. So by the time we got the Scimitar, the end of day one was upon us, and we moved into day number 2. So day number 2 is where things really start to come together. I'd spent a little bit of time off stream just getting a few more pyramid tops from the agility pyramid in order to just speed up some of the more grindy money making, just to get us a little bit of a cash stack to get started and get some other pieces of gear. So I did that off stream, which allowed us to start day 2 of the stream with about 200K in the bank, which allowed us to purchase a few key pieces of items. Those items being the Helm of Nietiz Knot and some rune legs. And that really completed a lot of our base gear. And it was time at that point to start looking at Barbarian Assault. However, since I was doing something that required me to take damage, I wanted to just up my defense a little bit. So I went ahead and bought Proselyte. I bought some Proselyte armor with some money I had left over just for a little bit of a defensive plate body. And I also went to Shiloh Village and used the gem mines to get a diamond, which allowed us to get a power amulet. Now this power amulet will be the amulet we'll be rocking for quite a while. I do have the crafting level to boost up for a glory, but I'm not sure how I'm going to get the glory at this point. I have a few different options and I just don't know which option I want to take. I don't mind doing the hunter to get 83 hunter in order to catch dragon implings and get the glory. I know how to force dragon impling spawns very easily, so it wouldn't take too long doing that method. But I could also just do Slayer with a power amulet, wait to get a crystal key from the rare drop table, and then make a glory that way. Again, I have a few different options, and I'm just kind of playing things out and seeing where I want to go past this power amulet, but we will be using this power amulet for the time being. So with this setup, we were ready to start Barbarian Assault. So we were able to do a few runs on the first stage, and they actually went very smooth. Now, Barbarian Assault is a mini game I enjoy playing, so it was nice to kind of just sit back and do something that wasn't so efficiency focused and kind of enjoy the game a little bit more in a different aspect by playing this mini game. So it was nice to get some of that out of the way. But on day number 2, we were able to wrap that up with 2 full queen kills, which allowed us to get both our defender and attacker points, and then move on to day 3. So day 3 starts off where day 2 left off, obviously, at Barbarian Assault. So we started day 3, finishing up the fighter torso. It only took 2 more queen kills to get the rest of the points we needed, and I was able to purchase the fighter torso with only about 2 to 2.5 hours of Barbarian Assault total. Again, I enjoyed the time that I spent there, so it was a nice change of pace to be able to do that mini game. So after we got the fighter torso, I needed to start working on my defenders because that's the next major gear upgrade that I wanted to shoot for. So I went ahead, got 1,200 tokens at the Warriors Guild to prepare for that. However, by the time that we got these tokens, it was getting a little late, and I wanted to go for the defender grind all in one go. So what I did to kind of fill some time is just kind of wrap some things up that I had been AFKing off stream. Now, one of the big things that I want to do is get some Barrows gear, and to get Barrows, I need to get 83 magic, or would very much prefer to get 83 magic. So the thing that I'm doing a lot in my AFK time on this account off stream is casting Fire Strike on blue dragons, banking the hides and the bones, just to try to get a little bit of money and also some magic levels. So what I did to end off day number 3 is I took the blue dragon hides that I had, made them into blue dragonhide bodies, and then alched them for quite a bit of GP. And this is enough GP to really last us a while. I'll be able to buy quite a few Fire Strike casts with this money and really buy anything else I'll need, especially since our next major goal after the defender is to get Barrows gloves, and those cost 130k. Having this 300k cash stack is going to allow us to not only afford those, but also afford any other runes that we need while we inch closer to 81 or 83 magic. We can boost up to the Barrows teleports with 81, so I may stop there. I really haven't decided. But that really did wrap up day number 3, and now I just want to talk about what the future plans are for this account and what the short and long-term goals are. So like I said, I do want to focus on getting Barrows gloves because I do think those are going to be an excellent upgrade over my iron gloves, obviously. but I think having the quests done will also be really nice on this account. I haven't done many quests on this account. I only have 125 quest points, so there is a lot of questing that I will need to do, and that's really what I want to focus on after this Dragon Defender. I'm hoping by the time that I've finished those quests and gotten the Dragon Defender that I'll be able to get very close to at least 81 magic during the time that I'm spending off screen killing blue dragons or splashing, depending on what I end up doing. And if I can get close to that magic level by the time I get Barrow's Gloves, I will be able to start doing Barrows. And the reason I want to do Barrows so early is for 3 specific items. Any tank helmet, preferably a Varrock's helmet, but I'll take any tank helmet, any tank legs, and I want a Karill's crossbow as well as some bolt racks because that will let me do the fight caves with relatively decent gear. I do want to get a fire cape very soon on this account, preferably before I start Slayer. However, I really don't want to do it with a magic shortbow or with a rune crossbow and broad bolts. I know I could relatively easily. I just don't want to because that just doesn't sound fun at all. So I do want to at least get a little bit of gear that will speed up that process and make it just a little bit more efficient. Another thing is I hope that you appreciate the fact that I pronounce Barrows and Barrows interchangeably, and I hope it triggers at least 3 of you because I get it wrong every single time, and someone is always sure to let me know that I've pronounced it wrong. So I've been starting to mix them up, not only to trigger you, but also because I just keep forgetting every other sentence of what the correct pronunciation is. But anyway, that kind of wraps up the future short-term goals of this account, to get the fire cape, to get the Barrow's gloves, and to get a few Barrows items, and then start on Slayer, really. And after we get Slayer, the main goals will be to focus on getting those high-tier items, so the high-tier gear, Abyssal Whip, a Trident, even getting onto, God War's armors and different things like that. Again, the main focus of this account is to get high-tier gear and to get it to an end game point. I'd like to get it to a spot where I can do bosses with this account, and I can do some high-level Ironman content on this account, and that's really the end or long-term goal of this account, and that's where I want to take this series. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. I hope it's something that excites you, because I'm pretty motivated for it right now. Again, it gives me an excuse to take a little bit of a break from the Inferno on my main, especially since I don't want to borrow gear right now, and I don't want to do the Inferno without better gear that I have. So I'm taking a little bit of a break, AFKing just some skills to slowly get myself towards max. So I am motivated on my Ironman account right now. I'm looking forward to the mid-level content. I haven't done it in quite a while, and I'm enjoying it so far, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm relatively motivated for it. But that is all I have for this video, and that does do it for the first week of the From Hacked to Stacked series. This is the gear setup that we have right now. These are the upgrades we've made this week. We started with absolutely nothing, and we've made it to this point. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, my name is Joseph. Thank you guys so much for watching and spending a little bit of your time with me today. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, and I will see you next time.